Hey, so right now, today, we are going to go over the top 5 Etsy sellers on their platform. And the reason we're doing this is because I'm just curious about who's doing well and who's not, and why they're doing well and why they're not. I'm going to tell you who the top 5 shops are, what they're selling, and may even do a little bit of speculation about how much they're making and why they're doing so good at it. Etsy has grown absolutely huge. My first interaction with them was about 6 years ago when my wife and I set up a small-time shop on there. But since then, it's just a completely different ballgame. Quick stats for reference. 2019, there were 2.7 million sellers on Etsy. 2021, 7.6 million sellers. 2019, there were 46.3 million active buyers on the Etsy platform. 2021, there were 96.3 million active buyers on the platform. Absolutely explosive growth in just a couple years. Seems like they definitely benefited from the whole COVID effect. And yeah, that does mean that they pretty much tripled their sellers in the time that they doubled their buyers. So there is a bit more competition on the platform now. However, there's still a lot of opportunity, as you're about to see right now. Let's take a look at these sellers.
One thing I was kind of curious about is why Etsy, like what sets Etsy apart these days. And I mean, to be honest, they're an online selling platform just like many other online selling platforms. They used to be focused, I think, almost solely on handmade goods. These days, it seems like you can sell just about anything on Etsy. However, it does seem like they put an emphasis on kind of gearing their site towards creatives. And when I was looking at statistics, I found that 81% of Etsy sellers are women, so they definitely have a very specific demographic that they're trying to target. But that being said, you can find all sorts of things on Etsy, and once again, they are gigantic. Okay, so here's how we're going to do it. We're going to count down from the 5th place shop and then work our way down to the number 1 shop. And if you stick around to the end, I'll actually really quick go through number 6 through 10 as well, so you can get a good idea for all 10 top spots on Etsy. Shop number 5, Yakutum, something like that. So this shop, as you can see, sells, looks like jewelry, and I think jewelry components. So Istanbul, Turkey is where they're based out of. And when I was looking at statistics, I did find that most sellers, I want to say like 60% of shops are based out of the US, but clearly they've got some notable shops in other areas of the world as well. Just over 1 million sales, 1,014,000. And if you come down here, you can see, yep, jewelry and jewelry components, like looks like different beads you put together if you want to make your own jewelry. And I noticed that they're kind of like, it looks like they've got a lot in like the $4 to $6 price range. So they're not big ticket items. Looks like it'd probably be good impulse purchases that people are doing. And clearly that's working because they've made over 1 million sales, so pretty impressive. And oh yeah, I did find out if you scroll to the bottom, you can find out how long they've been around. There we go. Since 2008. So in terms of being an Etsy seller, they've been around the block for a while. I don't know the exact year Etsy started, but that had to be pretty early on. Okay, let's check out the number 4 spot. Okay, so this one's called Mod Party, and you can see pretty good jump in sales from the last one. They're at 1.4 million sales, and oh, it says right here, bridesmaids gifts, wedding favors, and decorations. And I think they're just absolutely crushing it. I'm pretty sure they're growing at a very quick rate, because I looked at this page a few days apart, and all of these pages actually, and some of them grew maybe 700 or 800 sales in a few days, and this one grew like, I want to say it was like 3,000 or 4,000 sales. So they're definitely doing really good. They also have, for Etsy, pretty good price points. I mean, it looks like they've got items in the $10, $20, even kind of up to $30 range. And so I'm imagining that they're probably making some bank. If you're selling a $20 or $30 item, I can't imagine you're walking away with less than $5 or $10 in profit. Considering they've got some $50 items, I would speculate that they're making at least $5 a sale on average. And granted, we're just completely spitballing here, but you can see with 1.4 million sales, if they're making that much per sale, they're doing pretty good. And they launched in 2013, so been going at it for 9 years. And I mean that's really good, because that's what, like 150,000 sales a year on average. You could live off that. All right, our number 3 spot is called Bead Boat, and once again, jewelry. So you're sensing a theme with this. Jewelry seems to be a big deal. Spoiler alert, I think there's one, maybe 2 other jewelers on the top 10 list. And yeah, also jewelry supplies. So I do think that from what I'm seeing, a lot of Etsy is focused on affordability. I mean, I'm sure there are some premium items, but you can see here, I'm seeing like $2, $3, $5, kind of like that $2 to $7 range. And so I think a lot of these shops are relying on some impulse purchases and maybe adding multiple things to their cart because, well, it's not too expensive to do so. And they're at 1.6 million sales. Let's see how long it's taken them to get that. Oh, 2014. So 8 years. I guess technically you'd be going on the 9th year if they started at the beginning to get 1.6 million sales. And that was our number 3 spot. Number 2, Caitlin Minimalist. So more jewelry, but very stylized jewelry. You can see the look that this shop is going for. These are definitely trendy necklaces and rings, and it's paying off for them because they're at 1.7 million. And something that's cool at these is, if you look, they're kind of consistently in the $25 to $30 range. So I feel like they must be making bank with the amount of sales that they're doing and the price points that they're at, because from what we've seen of the other shops, this is actually kind of a premium price point for Etsy. And they have been around since 2014 as well. So they must have experienced some pretty quick growth. All right, our top spot, number 1, Planner Kate. Stickers and organization. So she is breaking the mold and not doing jewelry. You can see she sits at 1.88 million sales, which is pretty astounding. So her little tagline up here says it all: stickers and organization. It looks like she sells little planners and little sticker sheets, anything to help you be all planned and organized and in charge of your life. See some price points here. I noticed, yes, she has some $4 items, some higher $12, $15 items, but the majority of these are in the $1 to $2 range, with some of these even being less than $1. So clearly she's all about providing a good quality, cute looking item, but at a super cheap, super affordable price. So I guess that explains why she's doing so well with so many sales. That does mean, however, I think some of these other shops are probably actually making more money than her. This Caitlin Minimalist one that we just talked about, with their price points being in the $30 range, even though they have less sales, I think they're probably making a lot more money, because I'm guessing they're profiting probably $10 off of each of these pieces of jewelry. Multiply that by 1.7 million, that's a lot of dough. Whereas, if you're selling these, and these aren't printables either, these are actual little sticker sheets that are sent out, so maybe she's making $1 or less off each one. So it's still admirable and it's still awesome she's selling so much, she's still making good money, but clearly there's a big difference in the amount of money that they're bringing home when your item's only $1 or $2. So there you go, there you have it. I think many of these top sellers are making in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some of them possibly even million plus, and I'm just talking per year. Obviously, if you look over the whole career, all of these have made over $1 million from Etsy. And then, as promised, let's quickly go over 6 through 10 just so you can see what else there is. We got K Jewelry Metal, another Istanbul Turkey one. Maybe they're owned by the same people as that Yakutum. 976,000 sales and more jewelry. We have Peggy Sue also. She sells leather. She's at 847,000 sales. And her stuff's pretty high price point. I mean, you're buying essentially rolls of leather, I assume for crafting and sewing, so she's probably bringing in quite a bit of money. I don't know what the markup is like on leather. Happy Kawaii Supplies, 806,000 sales, and from what I could see, they're like little decoration items, maybe for parties. Some of them I think are legit candies, some are not. Actually, no, they're not even real candies. They're just really deceivingly good. They look like candy. All right, and our number 9 spot is Nicole de Bruin with 801,000 sales, selling charms, which I'm gonna say this is another jewelry shop. Finally, number 10, I Love Lotus, 787,000 sales. They are selling healing crystals, apparently. None of the non-healing crystals, only the healing ones. And I'm curious, this one real quick. Let's see how long they've been around the block. 2011. Okay. 11 years. Almost 800,000 sales. That's pretty good.
So there you have it. There's the top 5, but really 10 Etsy sellers on that platform. There is some money to be made there, so if you're thinking about selling some products online, maybe check out Etsy. You could even use it for product research and see what is selling well on there. And I don't want you to miss out on it, especially if you're already selling some stuff online. Maybe you ought to put your stuff on Etsy as well and try to increase your sales. You should probably also give this video a like, that is if you found it informative and helpful. And I will look forward to seeing you with my next video coming very soon. So thanks for watching.